She told me to get out in front of hundreds of guests. She didn't know I'd walk away and take everything with me. Weddings are supposed to unite families, not destroy them. But on my son's wedding day, I realized I wasn't part of his new family. I was just an obstacle they wanted gone. That morning was bright and warm, and I had tears in my eyes. Happy ones at first. My only son, James, was getting married. I had raised him alone after his father's death, working 2 jobs, selling jewelry, and skipping meals to pay for his education. When I arrived at the venue, a grand garden glowing with flowers and fairy lights, I expected a seat near the front, but instead the usher led me to the back corner. "Are you sure?" I asked. "I'm the groom's mother." He hesitated. "I was told to keep this seat open for you." That's when I saw her, Rachel, the bride, elegant, perfect, smiling for photographers. But when her eyes met mine, her smile faded into something colder than ice. At first, I brushed it off. Maybe she was just nervous. But as the ceremony began, every glance, every whisper from her side of the family cut deeper. They looked at me like I didn't belong. When the vows ended and applause filled the air, Rachel turned toward me. Her voice, sweet but sharp, sliced through the music. "Mrs. Wallace," she said loudly, "I think you should leave now." The crowd froze. I blinked. "Excuse me?" She smiled faintly, but her eyes were venom. "You've caused enough stress. James doesn't need unnecessary drama today." The crowd gasped. My son just stood there, silent. That silence burned more than her words. So I did what she wanted. I lifted my purse, my pride, and said, softly, "You're right, I'll leave." But I didn't leave alone, because as I turned, someone stood up, James's best man, a tall, kind young man named Liam, who'd been his friend since childhood. He whispered, "Mrs. Wallace, don't go alone." He followed me outside as rain began to fall. "She shouldn't have done that," he muttered. James just froze. I sighed. He made his choice. Silence is raiment. But Liam wasn't done. He said slowly, "I overheard something last night. Rachel and her mother were talking about you. Something about your house?" My heart stopped. "My house?" He nodded. "They said once James's name is added to your property papers, she'd convince him to handle things quickly. I think they planned to sell it." The truth hit me like thunder. All these years, I'd thought Rachel wanted love, but she wanted security, the house I had built brick by brick after my husband's death, and my son, too blind to see it. That night, while the wedding party danced under golden lights, I sat alone in my car, watching from afar. The bride laughed, my son smiled, and I felt something twist inside me. Not pain anymore, but resolve. They wanted me out? Fine, but they had no idea what I had left behind. 3 weeks later, James called. "Mom, can we visit? Rachel wants to see your house again." I smiled into the phone. "Of course, dear. I'd love that." When they arrived, Rachel was all sweetness and charm. "Oh, this place is so beautiful," she said, running her hand over the banister. "You must be so proud." "I am," I said, "especially after what I did with the paperwork." She froze. "Paperwork?" I nodded casually. "Yes, I recently transferred ownership. I'm not getting any younger, you know." James smiled. "Mom, that's great. Did you—" "I left everything," I interrupted, "to a charity foundation." Rachel's smile cracked. "A charity?" "Yes, the Wallace Foundation. It supports single mothers who raise their children alone, like I once did. Every asset, including this house, now belongs to them." James looked shocked. "Mom, why didn't you tell me?" I looked him dead in the eye. "You never asked." Rachel's face turned pale. "You can't just—" "Oh, but I can," I said softly. "You wanted me gone, remember? Now I'm truly gone from your plans. You can't sell what's not yours." She stormed out, muttering curses. James stood frozen. For a moment, I saw the little boy he used to be, confused, scared, realizing what love he had taken for granted. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't stop her that day. I should have." Tears stung my eyes. "It's not too late to learn, James, but it might be too late to fix." I handed him an envelope, a letter from Liam, who had resigned from James's company that week. Inside was proof. Rachel had been secretly transferring company funds to her brother overseas. James's face went white. "Sometimes," I said quietly, "life gives us people who look like blessings, but are lessons." 2 months later, Rachel was gone, divorced, humiliated, and facing charges. James came to my small apartment in the city, where I now volunteered for the charity. "Mom," he said, voice trembling, "can I start over?" I looked at him for a long time. "Start over, yes, but not for me. For yourself. Learn to see people for who they are, not what they promise." He nodded, tears in his eyes. As he left, Liam walked in carrying boxes of donated clothes. He smiled warmly at me. "You left the wedding that day, but you didn't leave alone." I smiled back. "No, I didn't. I left with my dignity, and maybe with someone who still knows what loyalty means." Outside, the rain started again, gentle, cleansing, and for the first time in years, I felt peace. Never underestimate the quiet power of a woman who's been disrespected. Revenge doesn't always shout. Sometimes it signs a few papers and walks away with a calm smile while everyone else loses everything.